If a human slammed their head into a tree at the speed and force a woodpecker does, even once, it would almost certainly cause a serious concussion. A woodpecker does this over 12,000 times a day, every single day of its life. And somehow it doesn't end up with brain damage. For decades, scientists assumed they knew exactly why. But it turns out they were wrong. For a long time, the accepted explanation was that a woodpecker's skull works like a built-in crash helmet. Textbooks described a spongy layer of bone inside the skull, positioned specifically to cushion the brain, absorbing shock the same way foam padding protects your head in a bike helmet. Museum placards and nature documentaries said this was it. It's a tidy explanation, the kind that makes intuitive sense the moment you hear it. It's also, according to more recent research, mostly wrong. In 2022, a team of scientists filmed several woodpecker species pecking in extreme slow motion, then used that footage to precisely track how much their skulls actually compressed on impact. If the cushioning theory were correct, the skull should visibly flex and absorb energy, slowing down the deceleration of the brain inside, the same way a car's crumple zone slows down a collision. Instead, the footage showed something almost the opposite. The birds' skulls barely deformed at all. They were stiff, not springy. In fact, the amount of cushioning available was calculated to be far too small to meaningfully protect a brain from the forces involved, which raises an obvious problem. If the skull isn't absorbing the shock, where is all that force going? The answer starts with a basic idea from physics. The same amount of force spread out over a longer period of time produces less peak acceleration. That's the whole logic behind airbags and crumple zones: extend the collision, reduce the spike. But it turns out a woodpecker's brain isn't playing that game at all. It's not trying to extend the impact. It's avoiding a sudden spike of force by a completely different route. Their skulls appear to be built to be rigid and strong specifically so the impact transmits through the whole skull evenly and briefly, rather than getting cushioned and drawn out the way a helmet would do it. In other words, the bird isn't softening the blow. It's making sure the blow moves through its skull as a single, uniform, predictable event rather than a messy, lingering one. There's also a size advantage most people don't think about. A woodpecker's brain is tiny, roughly the size of a large grape, and smaller brains are inherently more resistant to the kind of shearing forces that cause concussions in larger animals. This comes down to basic physics of mass and inertia. Human brains are big and heavy relative to our skulls, which means they can slosh and twist slightly on impact, stretching and damaging delicate neural tissue as they lag behind the skull's sudden stop. A woodpecker's brain is small, tightly packed, and surrounded by very little cerebrospinal fluid, which drastically limits how much it can move inside the skull at all. Less mass means less momentum to manage, and less fluid means less room for that dangerous internal sloshing to happen in the first place. On top of that, a woodpecker's brain is oriented so that most impacts strike it front to back rather than side to side. That orientation matters enormously, because brains tolerate straight-line acceleration much better than the rotational, twisting forces that cause the worst human concussions. Most human head injuries, the kind that cause real damage, involve some rotational component, the brain twisting inside the skull rather than just moving straight backward. A woodpecker's beak, neck, and skull are aligned almost perfectly along a single axis when it strikes, which minimizes any rotational force almost entirely. Every part of the system, from the skull stiffness to the brain size and impact angle, works together to avoid the specific kind of motion that actually damages neurons rather than trying to absorb damage after the fact. There's one more piece to this puzzle that researchers have only recently started to appreciate: timing. A woodpecker's strikes are incredibly fast, lasting only a few milliseconds each. Some researchers now think that speed itself might be protective, because certain kinds of brain injury depend not just on the force involved, but on how long that force is sustained. A very short, very intense impact can sometimes be safer for neural tissue than a longer but gentler one, which sounds completely backwards until you consider that woodpeckers essentially evolved their entire head structure around this exact physics problem, optimizing every variable at once instead of relying on any single trick. So the old crash helmet story wasn't entirely made up. There probably is some very minor shock absorption happening in a woodpecker's skull. But recent research suggests it's a small supporting detail, not the main event, and definitely not the elegant single-mechanism solution generations of textbooks made it out to be. The real story is a bird whose entire head, from beak to brain to neck muscles, evolved together to prevent dangerous motion from happening in the first place, rather than softening it after the fact once it's already begun. It's a strange kind of solution when you really sit with it, not padding the blow, but engineering the entire collision so the blow never really threatens the brain to begin with. And it's a good reminder that when nature solves an impossible-looking problem, the answer is rarely as simple as a cushion. More often, it's a dozen small adaptations working together so precisely that no single one of them looks impressive on its own until you realize what they add up to.